Okay, here we go. Take two. I kind of got off track on take one. I got Rosie prepped with some treats for prep one, so she's already had her treats. She may get a couple more, but she's relaxed and chilling while we're doing our CH lesson. So this is going to be my CH video, my video specifically on cerebellar hypoplasia. As I stated in some of my previous videos, I kind of took for granted that with all the CH cat channels out there, or CH dogs, any being that has a cerebellum can have their cerebellum affected, and it would be considered a cerebellar hypoplasia if it's shrunken or diminished. But we're just going to use cats since I have a cat. I used to have a CH dog, but we're just going to keep it to cats. But everything applies to dogs or any other animal. So in CH, or cerebellar hypoplasia, it can be categorized as either mild, moderate, or severe. Rosie would be considered more she would be considered more mild to moderate, but leaning toward the moderate or the mild side. She's actually a relatively mild case. There are, of course, milder cases where they can do a lot more than Rosie can do, but you can still tell that they have some issues, some problems with their movement. And then you have the severe cases where the animal is more or less completely immobile. I used to have a cat that I would say was between moderate and severe, leaning towards severe, and he could move, but even getting up on his feet to move was extremely troublesome. So he more or less just chose to stay full body on the ground and just drag himself wherever he went. But you could not stop him from purring. He was the happiest cat I've ever seen in my life. But he would be he would be an example of a case that would be more toward the severe side. But regardless of whether they're mild, moderate, severe, or whatever the case may be, one misconception about cerebellar hypoplasia is that there's something quote unquote wrong with the animal. There's nothing wrong with them. They just have a problem with balance, with precision movements, with things that we kind of take for granted. So there's nothing wrong with them. They are not in pain at all. They are in absolutely no pain. Sort of think of it as if somebody gets drunk. The alcohol actually affects the function of your brain, affects the function of your cerebellum, which causes a drunk person to have an unsteady gait or not be precise in their movements, not be able to catch themselves when they fall. Their balance is off. That's kind of like you're kind of temporarily inducing cerebellar hypoplasia on a person when they're drunk. It's not an exact equivalence, but it's a fairly decent analogy. But there's no pain involved with being drunk. It's the same thing with an animal that has cerebellar hypoplasia. There's no pain involved other than the pain they may feel when they fall down. But if you take certain steps, then you can minimize that. Like I've said in my videos, there are certain parts of my house that she is not allowed in for the simple fact that it has a tile floor. I would much rather her fall on carpet than to fall on tile. And I've made certain accommodations in the areas that she is allowed in, so that it minimizes. I've got some rags taped to my coffee table, the corners of it, so that if she falls, she won't hurt herself on the corners of the coffee table. So there's pain in that regard, but then there's also pain with any animal or any person that falls down. I mean, I've been doing cat rescues for a long time, and even perfectly normal cats run into walls, fall down, get hurt, things like that. So So again, getting back to the cerebellar hypoplasia aspect of it, there is no pain involved. So the misconception is that there's something wrong with them. They're in pain, they're suffering, blah, 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 and it's more humane to put them down. And therein lies the problem. A lot of CH animals, particularly a lot of CH animals, CH cats seem to be more prevalent than any other breed that I have personally seen. I haven't seen any studies on it, but me personally, I've seen a lot more CH cats than any other CH animal. But a lot of them get put down for the simple fact that they fall over, for the simple fact that they are unsteady on their feet, or they can't, or they may be a severe case and can't walk at all. But people assume that there's something wrong with them, they're in pain, and they're actually doing them a favor by having them put down. And that's absolutely not the case. So Rosie, for instance, she is, other than the fact that she falls down, other than the fact that she can't quite catch herself when she falls, or even when she may roll over while she's napping on the sofa and mean to roll this way, but rolls this way and rolls off the sofa. That's there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's one misconception that I wanted to dispel, is that they're not in pain. They're not in any pain whatsoever. They love to play. They love to do everything they can do. I've had some CH cats that would jump. I've seen other CH cats that would jump, just like a normal cat, except they might not exactly land where they're intending to land, or land in the way that they're intending to land. Rosie, for whatever reason, she chooses not to jump. Whether she can or not I've seen CHs worse off than her that would jump, but her, she just maybe I've got her spoiled, and whenever she wants on the sofa, on the bed, or on wherever, then she just comes to me and starts screaming, and I pick her up and put her on the sofa or the bed, or whatever it is she's wanting to get on. But they can do everything. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So now let's get into what exactly is CH. CH, in most cases, and it can be brought on even later in life. It won't, quote unquote, develop later in life, but if there's some kind of traumatic event, say an animal gets hit by a car or has some kind of accident that the cerebellum is affected by, then the effect would be the same. There would be a diminishing of the function of the cerebellum. But in most cases, the animal is born with diminished function of the cerebellum, or the cerebellum itself is just, in some cases it's called smooth brain, where the cerebellum is just not there, and that would be an extreme severe case of CH. But it is with them when they're born. They will, if the mother catches distemper, and I recently read panleukopenia, then if she catches either one of those, and there may be other illnesses that a mother cat can catch, if she contracts those while she's pregnant, then she can pass the virus on to the kittens in utero, and then as the brain is developing, as the kitten's developing, then it affects the development of the cerebellum, and you end up with a CH cat. Now, it's not a guarantee that that'll happen. I've dealt with some kittens where the entire litter of 5 kittens, all had CH. I've dealt with litters of 4, 5, 6 kittens where only one had CH. So there's no guarantee that just because the mother does get sick, that she's going to pass a virus on to the kittens that's going to cause them to develop CH. Now, you're not going to be able to tell if a cat has, or a kitten has CH, until they get to about, I would say, 8-10 weeks old, for the simple fact that kittens, as they learn to walk, as they learn to move, they're unsteady on their feet anyway. That's kind of the cuteness of them. They fall over as they're learning to walk, as they're learning, what these little things out here do, their legs and their feet. But it's once they get old enough and well versed enough in this walking thing that they just learned that they should start developing some precision. Now they hit 10, 12, 14 weeks and they're still falling over. Then you've got cause for concern. Okay, is this going to be a CH? Is this something else? So at that point, you can start kind of taking them to a vet to have them checked out, or just keep an eye on them and start making the assumption that okay, this cat's got CH, and take whatever appropriate actions you want to take. But once they get old enough, then the CH starts showing itself, because now the kitten should be a little bit more precise in its movements. So what CH is as the kitten is developing and the cerebellum is developing, if it is hindered in its development, then that affects the cerebellum affects motor function. Gross motor function, meaning a large motor function would be large muscle groups like your legs, your quads, large muscles that make big movements. So when you walk, you run, you've got big muscle groups making big motions. And it also controls fine motor function, which would be something like your fingers, very small muscles doing very precise things. So it would be the equivalent to, so gross motor function would be if you get scared and run away from something, you've got large muscles making large movements very fast. Versus if you're using your fingers to turn the knob on a combination lock, now you've got small muscles doing very precise movements very slowly. That would be fine motor function. Well, in Rosie's case, and in most CH's cases, they can make some gross motor functions. They can make large muscle movements move, but then the precision for where their leg is going to land, where they're going to go, all that goes totally out the window. So they may know, okay, I want to walk over there. I've got to make these things go out in front of me. So let's make this go out in front of me. It may go way over here, or it may actually go behind them, but they know what to do. For the most part, like in Rosie's case, she can make her legs do this, but it's very, very uneasy. Well, also what comes along with that is her body doesn't adjust for, my leg is now out here. So like where we can, if we trip, if we fall, then our brains just instantly send signals to various muscles to, put more weight over here to catch ourselves so we don't fall. They don't have that benefit. So if they are unbalanced on one side, their brain may know that they're unbalanced, but they can't get the right signals to the right muscles to do the right thing, and they're very likely going to fall over. That's why you see Rosie, you see a lot of CHs just fall down a lot. So the fine muscle control, the fine motor control, is greatly diminished in a CH animal. But so another aspect of fine motor control is a lot of CH animals will have head tremors associated with their CH, to where their head may go back and forth, or it may wobble. It does a lot of things. You can actually see it in Rosie when her head tremors are more noticeable. Like right now, when she's trying to sniff my finger, she's having a hard time putting her nose up to my finger and sniffing it, because she's having to make constant large adjustments to get her nose to my finger. Well, whether like I'm sitting still, she's sitting still, even when we are sitting still, our muscles are making constant fine motor adjustments in order to keep our head still. Our brain, just like when we stand still, if our brains didn't tell our muscles to balance this and move this and tweak this and all this, we would end up just falling over. Well, that's kind of what happens to them. They don't, the signals don't make it to the muscles to tell their head, lock in place, move this muscle, move this, okay, now adjust this one a little bit more here, a little bit more there. That it's just random, and next thing their head's doing this or something. Same with when they're walking or when they're standing still. There's been plenty of times that Rosie has been standing still, looking right at me, and just fall over. Never take her eyes off of me. Never make a single attempt to catch herself, but just look right at me, stand there, and just fall straight over on the ground like just stiff as a board. But so anyway, all that to say that's the basics about what CH is. It is not progressive. It does not get worse over time. There are some channels out there that I follow. I'd mentioned a couple of them in my previous videos, and I think that those are great channels. I think their cat parents are just wonderful people. But they, like Willy Wonky, his cat mom has said that he has has something other than CH. He's got a degenerative neurological condition. So his is progressive, and she even made a post the other day showing, where he was 2 years ago versus where he is now. But with CH, it does not progress. So the way you see Rosie today is the exact same way she was 6 years ago. She has not gotten any worse. She has not gotten, and that's the way CH is. It doesn't change. It's not degenerative. It's not progressive. So whatever level they're at when they develop it, when they're born, when their brains quit developing, and any quote unquote damage that's done to the cerebellum is complete, that's where they will be for the rest of their life. So I think that's about it, Rosie. I think I've about run out of knowledge, which is not surprising. That didn't take very long. So yeah, that in a nutshell is CH. I'm going to try to get this video edited and posted today, because it is, what is it? It is 5 till 2 in the morning. So Daddy's been doing construction stuff, bids and all that stuff, and then it was time to do Rosie stuff. Now it's time to go to bed. But I'm going to try to get this video edited and posted today, because I would really like to get some questions about it in the live stream that's coming up Saturday. It's going to be episode 3 of the Rosie Show, 2 p.m. Saturday. What is today? Today's the 10th. So, well, today's Friday the 10th, so the 11th. So 2 p.m. the 11th, Saturday the 11th. Is that it, Rosie? Is that everything? Or you're just ready to go to bed? You've only had 18 hours of sleep today. All right. So there you go. There's my CH video. I hope I wasn't too boring. I hope it was informative. And if any of you have any questions, whether you tune into the live stream Saturday or not, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I would love to answer them, because part of my goal is I want to get the word out about CH, because like I said earlier, a lot of CH animals get put down unnecessarily when there is really absolutely nothing wrong with them. You have to make certain concessions. Like I had mentioned, I've got some old rags taped to the corners of my coffee table, so that if she falls, she won't hurt herself on the corner of the coffee table. One side of my bed is completely unusable by humans, because I built a ramp and put carpet on it for her to be able to get herself up on the bed when I'm not home, if she's in the bedroom. And let's say what else? Since she personally does not like enclosed spaces, then a covered litter box will not work for her because she won't go in it. So using a regular litter box is the only thing she'll use. And with her not having a lot of precision uh, muscle control, then when she goes to dig out a little bit of litter, sometimes it turns into throwing litter out into the floor in large chunks, which means having to clean it up, which is it's just there are certain things that go along with having a CH. And if for anybody that's thinking about adopting a CH cat or CH dog, CH animal in particular, then there's a lot of stuff that's got to be taken into consideration. In a lot of cases, there's really not any extra medical care, but there are certain concessions that have to be made in order to make the environment more suitable for a cat that tends to run into stuff a lot. And also a lot of patience that has to go into it, because I can tell you right now, from having cleaned up litter in the floor and then come back 2 hours later and there's more litter in the floor to clean up, and having to clean litter out of the floor 3-4 times a day sometimes, it can wear on you. But these are just the things we do, and these are the things that somebody needs to take into consideration, because I know that it's real cute to see this sweet little angel playing and falling over and doing all the things that she does, but there's also a lot that goes into there's a lot more that goes into having a special needs animal than a non-special needs animal, than a quote unquote normal animal. So anyway, so I guess that wraps it up, Rosie. I thought I was done. I have probably bored these people to no end. My apologies. But there we go. We're educating them about CH. Yay. You're just like, whatever, Daddy. Let's go to bed. I'm tired. All right, everybody. I will see y'all later today, and I hopefully will see a lot of you at the live stream Saturday, 2 p.m., May the 11th, 2024, 2 p.m. Central Time, U.S. All right. Say bye, Rosie. Or just sit there and look cute. All right. See y'all later. Bye.